video, we're going to go through the unbox and build experience of the new Stator Swell step through. If you've purchased the step over, the process will be exactly the same, so you can use this video for reference. Now the boxed weight of the bike is around 36 kilos, so we would suggest a second person to help out. However, the bike is only 30, so it is manageable to build by yourself. If you can't get the bike out of the box, just cut the sides open and lay it down and work from there. Let's jump straight in. When you open up the lid, you're met with the accessories box. Put this aside. In here, everything you need to build the bike. You've got the charger, the toolkit, some touch-up paint. So that's very, very important. Don't lose that. Next thing you're met with is our really nice saddle. This is a super comfy seat with some nice stitching and our Stator logo on the back. Next thing you've got is your seat pole. That's obviously to connect the seat to it. And then you just need to remove a little bit of foam. Remove as much as you can from around the bike. It does come very well packaged. The more foam you get out, the easier the bike will be to pull out of the box. Now you've got your bubble wrap protection here. I would suggest saving this. This can be handy to put the bike on so you don't scratch the paint when you're building it. Grab that, and when I lift it up, I'm also gonna flip the box down. This is gonna give me a workbench or a workspace to lay the bike down on to build. So 1, 2, 3. So very, very manageable. Knock that down a little bit. And I'm gonna lay the bike down with the spare tire facing up. I've got the bike out of the box, I've got the front tire facing upwards, so it's gonna make it much easier to remove that and get it installed. Once that front tire is installed, stand the bike up, put the stand down, it'll be so much easier to work on. Now, one thing that doesn't come in the toolkit and is very, very needed for this process is a pair of snips. So get some sharp scissors or some snips. It's gonna make removing all the cable ties much, much easier. And then just slide that off the pedal crank carefully as to not damage any paint. Just bring this up and show you this tread pattern. This is a 20 by 4 inch tire, CST Torrance. Beautiful tire, and it looks so good on the bike. So we're gonna take this off, remove this. This is no longer needed, this is just part of the packaging. Put this to one side, we're gonna need this shortly. What we're gonna do now is install the front wheel. If you've got a second person, you can do it standing up. If you're doing it by yourself, this is the easiest way to do it. You wanna remove this, just give it a bit of a knock, it'll come out. Remove the foam from the front fork. All right, so now I've removed enough cable ties that I can move the handlebars out of the way. I've got the bike, the front fork's lying down here. I've got the disc caliper or disc pads facing upwards. So now I'm gonna get the front wheel and I'm gonna loosen these bolts off on either side as far as I can. This is gonna make mounting the front wheel a lot easier. Then I'm gonna grab the washers. I'm gonna pull the washers right out to the edge. The washer should be between the nut and the fork on the outside. So once we've done that, I can hold it onto the washer, bring that disc up, and I can align it with those two pads and then slide it up into position. So that front wheel is now located in the right spot. Lift that up, tighten that up a little bit. Now you want to make sure you've got the washers on the outside, because that washer is going to help with locating that front wheel, making sure it's centered. All right, now that we've got that front wheel on loosely, we can stand the bike up. This is going to make the bike a lot easier to work on, and we'll be able to remove the remaining foam. If it's a bit heavy, feel free to remove the battery. That's going to take about 4 or 5 kilos off the weight of the bike. And just lift it up and put it down. So now what we can do is I'll get the snips, we'll go into hyperlapse, going to remove the remaining foam, then we'll look inside the box. All right, so we've got all the foam off. You'll notice I've left the foam on the handlebars. I do that on purpose so that it's going to protect the paint. Now let's jump and have a look inside the accessories box. I'll bring this up to the camera just so you can see what's in there. So in here you've got pedals marked left and right. You've got your toolkit, there we go, your bell, you've got your touch-up paint, and lastly you've got the charger, compact charger, and that's going to fully charge the battery in about 6 hours. All right, let's move on to installing the pedals. Just start off by doing them finger tight. You can get the tools when you're ready to go through and tighten everything up. So just put that pedal on until it's nice and tight. First one, and then the second one. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to catch the thread. Just remember, they are labeled, so follow that instruction, and they are reverse thread. All right, so that's the pedals on. Next thing, what we're going to do is we're going to build the seat. So we're going to put the seat onto the seat post. Very simple process. It's probably a 1-minute job. Top tip, make sure the hex bolt goes to the back. That is so you can adjust the angle of the saddle and make sure it's perfect for you. All right, so let's mount this onto the seat. We're going to put this under here like that. We're going to have the bolt I'm holding with my lower finger. Put that there like that. Thread this through. Once I can feel it, hit that bolt. I know it's good to tighten up. Once it grabs, it's just a matter of tightening it up. Don't tighten it too much. You want to have a bit of movement in it so that when you put it on the bike, you can adjust the angle. All right, so once you've got the seat mounted onto the pole, we're going to loosen off that quick release for the seat. Put this in. Don't put it all the way down, just put it in up quite high, tighten it up, and then just play around with that seat and pull it nice and forward, get it nice and even, nice and flat, and then tighten this up at the back here. So just get that, that looks about right. And this is going to clamp this down and hold that position. Put that down to about where you want it, straighten it up. Always stand at the back of the bike, go like that, and then you're good to tighten it up. So nice and straight, and flick that quick release down, and that is now nicely in position. You can just loosen these off in any pattern. This isn't important. What's going to be important is when we put it back on, we want to tighten them in a star pattern. That's going to give the best result and the tightest clamp on that handlebar. Put these into roughly where you think you might want them. Get that top clamp, place it over the top of it. Get the first bolt in. Just get a few twists on it so it's nice and tight. The other one in. Now this will be loosey-goosey until we tighten it up. So what I do is jump on the bike, put your bum on the seat, and work out what feels nice. So that there feels pretty good for me. So I'm going to tighten up these bolts now. All right, so we've got those semi-tight now. So we're just going to hyperlapse while I tighten those bolts up. Then we'll come back. It's almost done. There's a couple of steps left to go, so stick with me. To mount the front headlight, you just need this spanner. It's the 10mm and the hex key. Very, very simple. Loosen off the bolt. Try not to lose any washers. They are very little. Grab your headlight into position. Thread the bolt through the metal loop. So just right below that reflector. Bangle that up. Get your bolt through there. Push it all the way through that fork. Put the washer and the nut on, and tighten everything back up. Starting with the front wheel, 15mm spanner, nice and tight. Get as much leverage as you can on it. It's a solid aluminum or aluminium frame, so it's very strong, so just grab hold of it and tighten that down. You want to make sure these are really nice and tight. Then onto the pedals, same thing, get the pedals nice and tight. You don't want these coming loose. These are a rotating part. Again, use leverage, grab hold of the top part of the pedal and pull that up and push down at the same time. Same with this side, a couple of rotations. nice and tight. All right, so that is the bike fully built. And don't forget to pump the tires up. They do come deflated or semi-deflated. I recommend 28 in the front, 30 in the back. Any comments, questions, chuck them down below. If you've got a different Stator bike and you're trying to work out how to build it, we'll be adding videos like this for every bike we produce. But that's the end of this unbox and build video for the Stator Swell step through. Thank you so much for watching. Ride safe.